let's get the show on the road, folks. So thank you all so much for joining us for this 2023 Virtuous Con celebration. We're also honored to be part of it. This is the Black Fae Day is Joy panel, and I am your moderator, your humble host, LaCase Kuzno, and I'm joined here by some really exceptional, exciting people who are integral to Black Fae Day. And we'll introduce them in just a second, but first I want to walk through how this will work, how we're gonna get through this together for this little hour of excitement and joy and fairy fantabulousness, however you want to say it. So we will have this panel, we'll have a wonderful discussion, and if you have questions for our panelists, whatever they may be, as long as they're respectful, you can drop your questions in that Q&A section at the bottom of your screen, and we will get to those questions a little towards the end. We'll leave time at the end to answer your questions and hopefully help you understand a little bit more about Black Fae Day. So enough of my rambling about the rules and all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and jump into who we have on screen with us today. I'm going to go to each person and let them introduce themselves, and then we'll jump into our panel. Sound good? Let's do it. All right. I'm ready to. Well, hello. Thanks. I'm already seeing comments flooding in. We love it. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. It's so exciting. So let's go ahead and start with the lady who conceptualized this all, whose idea it was, and her cohort, her ally in fantastic fairy adventuring. Let's go ahead and start with the duo, the dynamic duo. We'll start with Jasmine and Carlos. Go ahead and let everybody know who you are and what you do.
I'm Jasmine LaFleur, and of course, I'm the founder of Black Fae Day, lover of all things froggy and toads, all my frog princes out there. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here at Virtuous Con. I've been excited all month. You've probably seen me all over social media talking about it, but I'm so happy to be here.
And I am Lord Strife, defender of the realm of the shade, and Jasmine LaFleur's partner. And I am also the director of community relations. So anytime there's anything going on within the community, our online community and things like that, I'm the one to kind of handle those things. And yeah, so don't face the wrath of the demon lord Strife.
We'll steer very clear of that for sure. Let's go ahead and jump over to Fairy Best Life. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them what you like,
Yes. I'm dropping things. I'm so excited. I'm Fairy Best Life. I'm a huge fan of Black Fae Day, and I'm so grateful that I've gotten to been a part of the advisory board and council. And yeah, I perform, I write music that I like to call enchanted R&B, and create fairy portals with my concerts for people to experience magic in this reality, because we are already living in the Fae realm. Just have to have the perspective to truly be able to witness the magic.
Oh, I like that a lot. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you here. Let's get to our last but not never least, Naya. Oh, sorry, Phoenix Lux. Apologies. Go ahead, Phoenix Lux. Please go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody. I got a little too familiar there. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. I'm Phoenix Lux. I am the Grand Griot of Black Fae Day. I love Black Fae Day with everything in me, so much so it's changed like my life literally. I am a third-year doctoral student researching adult play therapy. I refer to myself as a fairy sometimes. And I am all about joyful militancy, just spreading love and creating a movement that helps heal Black people.
Beautiful. Thank you all so much for your introductions and for being here, for gracing us with this wonderful panel. I think we can go ahead and start the questions. I'm going to grill you a little bit, see what we can tease out and let the folks know what Black Fae Day is all about. So let's go ahead and start. Everybody's ready? We'll start with some questions and get it moving. All right. So I'll just start with Jasmine and Carlos, if you wouldn't mind, for anyone who's not really familiar with Black Fae Day, hopefully we can pull them to the shade. Would you mind sharing the development of the event? How was the idea born? What did that look like?
Oh, well, it started with a tweet. It was a month just like this, where we were coming off the end of 28 days of Black cosplay in February, and we were in the middle of like post-pandemic weirdness where we're inside, we're outside, everything was really muddy, and I felt isolated, but I still wanted to be part of all the celebration and costume and in play and everything that we saw during this month. And I always love Black History Month. There's so much celebration and joy and happiness during it. And I just thought about this being a fairy and being royal and seeing people who love fantasy. And we hadn't really had a space where that was the focus. And I asked myself, why not? Like, why aren't we, fighting dragons and marching around as orcs and doing fun things like that? So I just tweeted about it. I was like, let's make a day on this date, and we'll dress up and we'll flood social media with positive images of Black people in fantasy. And that's another thing, that sometimes when we're in fantasy, it's not always a positive experience or a positive outlook. We might be a villain or, a plaything, basically, with no real agency in the story. So I wanted to change that and show people what Black fantasy could look like. And also, find people that were into the same interests as me. So I really thought only a few friends were going to participate. But as we all know, it ended up bigger than I could even imagine. And Lord Strife here kind of helped spread the word. Well, he definitely helped spread the word.
Yeah, I was there. Well, they don't even let me post no more. And a lot of the groups, they like, we tired of, we know what you're here for.
Yes. So actually, he encouraged me a lot. I'm very, 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 very introverted, my bad. And, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone today in style, but he encouraged me every step of the way to talk about it, to tell people about it, to create community. And that's why we're here.
Yeah, it's like one of the previous panelists said that, your ambition is greater than your fear.
Yes.
Ooh, I like that. Well, it also helps to have
Yeah.
people in your corner who are, cheering you on. It's something that you really can't do alone. That's the power of social media. It's insane, to think that people all over the world saw that and took part in it with you. So just to kind of popcorn over to Very Best Life in Phoenix Lux, what was it like seeing that initial call? Because it took on a life of its own, and it really connected. As we're seeing here, we're in all different parts of the country, but we were pulled by it. So what was it like for the two of you to see that initial call to action? If you saw the initial call to action, or did you just hear about it in general? What was your thought process, and was it hard for you to maybe jump in?
Yeah, I can chime in. I felt very like the timing of it all was super divine. I had just about started identifying as a fairy and then had just finally found my wings, which are these actually, my very first pair of wings, created by Creatures Who Craft. She's amazing. And I was taking all these like fairy photos and just like showing the world like Fairy Best Life is born, like I'm here. And literally within like a couple of weeks, I saw that Black Friday was about to be a holiday in May, and I was like, wow, just in time. Like, where's my community? Like, let's find like my fae folk. And it was so beautiful to see so much melanated magic like everywhere, and like they were really showing up and showing out. Like, I'm sure like it went viral. And I've since moved cities, and like they know about the movement, and like it's just the momentum has built because the foundation's always been there, but now like a space has been created for us all to like frolic and thrive and be seen and heard and share our stories. So yeah, I'm just so grateful that I was able to be part of it and now get to like ride the wave.
Yeah, it was amazing. It may sound a little dramatic, but it quite literally changed my life. Like I felt like I found family and like true people that were supportive in a good space. And even down to, like I said, my work. I was just getting into the dissertation process, where that means you do research. And I was kind of like being pressured to do certain stuff. I always was a nerd. I couldn't find like how to make it fit. And then like over summer break, Black Fae Day happened and I almost missed it. I almost with imposter syndrome was like, I'll do it next year. But then I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. And when I did like my very first cosplay, that was it. I was like, this is it. This is what I'm doing. I gotta find a way to do more of this. So it has been life-changing in the best way. And I'm just so thankful to Jasmine and Carlos because they really are protectors of the space so that newcomers can come and feel that same instant connection that kind of me and Sabrina were talking about.
You know, it's great that you bring up the idea of the space being safe. I think that's so important, you know, for us as Black people, as people of color, you know, in general. So, you know, thinking of this as a high fantasy space, you know, which is not always super welcoming, to put it as bluntly as possible. I guess what I'm getting at is, you know, with that mentality in mind, we want this to be safe. We want people to feel safe coming into it. You know, it's very explicitly Black Fae Day. How do we also, you know, encourage people maybe on the outside looking in to support? You know, what does that look like? And is that something that we have that we need to think about? You know what I mean? You know, creating I guess allyship at large. What does that look like?
Well, thanks to the hashtag movement, it's really easy to participate. A lot of people just use hashtag Black Fae Day when they're posting, or hashtag Black Fae, and several people follow that tag. And so we'll see each other as we're sharing, you know, books we've read, as we're sharing, you know, having mini watch parties, like, did you watch, you know, Lord of the Rings, and you know, on Amazon Prime and everything like that, and being excited about those premieres, or posting, you know, cosplays of the new Little Mermaid, you know, because we have Black Ariel now. And so, you know, it's so easy to be connected in that way. And so you can start there, and it's a wonderful start because it's so easy to see other users and people within the community who are using the hashtag. So you don't have to be a cosplayer, you don't have to have a costume. You can be someone who doodles fantastical, beautiful things, and you can share that. A lot of people were doing frolics in the park and sharing, you know, them just being out in nature and grounding themselves in the moment. Those are things we love to see, we love to share, and we're going to be there rooting you on. You're going to get those comments that say, oh, great, good for you, because we love seeing it. And the community, we're just excited about each other and geeked out when we do see us out there like that. So always feel like you can participate in that way, and you'll meet so many different people that it'll snowball from there.
Yeah, I also just want to chime in, like, Jasmine's done an incredible job, like, creating a safe space both for the Black community with like our private Facebook groups, and also like making a point to showcase like Black artistry, like cosplayers, authors, illustrators, artists, performers, you know, and also allowing there to be like a public page to support for allies who are outside of the community but still want to contribute to uplifting the voices that Jasmine is spotlighting. And I think that's really important because at the end of the day, like, it comes down to love and magic and expression. And we want that to be like it's a universal right to be able to express and, you know, believe in magic. And I found, you know, throughout that collaboration is a huge part of the growth of the movement. And I know, like, we've got our guild that we'll probably talk about a little bit later, but, you know, that's not a predominantly Black space. So there's a lot of true allyship there that's, you know, creating spaces for Black Fae to step into and own, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I think Jasmine and Carlos have done a great job with collaborating. We've collaborated with Guild of the Fae, with Enchanted Asian Day. The page Sabrina mentioned, which is Black Fae Every Day, is for allyship. And A celebration of Blackness doesn't mean it's exclusionary. You can celebrate with us. You can experience that joy with us. It's just about a space where, for once, we don't have to decenter ourselves, just knowing that we are the centerpiece for the celebration. And if you want to, admire all of the beautiful art you see, Black mermaids, Black fairies, you can definitely come and be a part of that. And we've seen that at some of the live events. There were allies there that were, peaceful. It was a really great space. So I think that the culture of just healing kind of naturally allows for organic collaborations and allyship.
Yeah, it's fabulous. Thank you all so much for your answers. And just kind of running with that, what do you feel, seeing that we have this space and people are able to express joy and experience joy, which is so revolutionary, especially for us, in the world we live in. What do you all think really are some of the long-term effects of having a space like this where, it's just like unfiltered joy? That's something I love about following the Instagram account. I just see colorful expression and just, fabulous makeup looks, cool costumes, wonderful fairy wings, dope hair. What is seeing that do long term for us?
Well, I mean, the longevity of joy opens doors to everything. If you can show up joyful for yourself, it gives you courage to, explore everything else in your life that you want to see. So, and that does trickle down to the relationships that you have at home, to the people that you work with, and, even within your community. If people see you skipping around outside, they're going to ask the questions and wonder what's happening with you, what's going on. And you can tell them, I'm having a Black Fae Day today. I'm in my bag, my fairy bag, and you can do this too. And so, you're healing this inner child that is just dying to explore and create and experience so much more. And when you tap into that, I mean, your creativity will flow, your happiness will flow, your excitement for and zest for life just it penetrates everything. So I think that's the magic of being able to step into this and be carefree.
Yeah, it's definitely freeing to be like dressed up and expressive of yourself in fantasy. And it's like, even when we go and we do events, or we go and we do like this now where we're dressed up, and there have been times when we finished and I've gone to the grocery store. I didn't take anything off. I've got some selfies that I posted on my page of just me standing in line at the grocery store, like horns and a cape on and our wings, and and people that see you out, they'll see you and they might not know what to say, but you can kind of see the looks on their face, and some of them you can see like that excitement, and other people are confused, but it's to see the reaction to yourself that's very invigorating.
Yeah. And a lot of people think, if they can do that, I surely can do whatever it is I'm worried about. It's encouraging in ways you don't even realize. Because I've recently saw, someone had snapped a picture of me, didn't know about Black Fae Day or our page, but they saw me at Hawktown Medieval Fair and was inspired to draw the hairstyle that I had that day. And they're here. They were one of our free ticket winners. So hello, shout out to you.
Was me.
Hey!
Yeah, I had no idea, that I had possibly inspired art from an artist. And, it's a beautiful connection that you have. You don't even have to interact directly, but you just being in a presence, joyful and excited about life, it really does make such beautiful impressions on people. And so hearing that story, I was just blown away because, I always hope that it's encouraging to someone, but to actually see the proof just meant the world. So thank you for coming to the panel.
We've had people be expressive with like tears in their eyes, literally telling us how important Black Fae Day was and is to them and how important it is for them to see us out in the spaces that we occupy.
And not always, Black individuals.
Right.
Sometimes it's people that have just wanted that for fantasy community in general.
Yeah. Most recently, it was an older white woman at Hogtown. And again, she had like tears in her eyes and was like, this is such a beautiful thing. And, it's one of the last places that a lot of people would think that you'd find somebody that happy
To see you.
Yeah. And, in Gainesville, Florida, down in the swamp.
Not the swamp now.
In precipitate, like, I think though, like, it, as a therapist, as a healer, as a researcher, people who are close to me know I'm a little militant, but it's like joyful militancy. It really is. But for me, I think Black Fae Day is so important because it creates a permanent space for generations after us that aren't centered around trauma. We get inundated with news updates and things going on, and just the world can be very overwhelming. But to know, especially as a Black person, that there is a space where I can just be authentically myself. It's not attached to trauma or hardship, that I don't have to have expensive wings. I can just come as myself and frolic and be free. I think that is so priceless. And I think that is the long term. And I think that's why everyone here kind of, as a council, we fight so hard because, it can be exasperating sometimes, but then when you see it in real time, it just makes it worth it.
Yes. And we're loving the responses in the chat. Thank you so much for telling us your experiences and your impressions so far. It really is special to have you talking with us and engaging. So thank you.
Yes, and please keep the comments and questions coming. We'll definitely be cycling through those so we can, make sure that you get all the information you need. We want to make sure that we keep this going long term. If we can maybe travel back in time to where you all maybe first experienced fantasy in a way that made you say, like, oh, like I want that. Do you remember what that felt like when you maybe first had that, like that little ember, starting to burn, seeing like maybe this is who I can be in the future? What did that look like? What did that feel like?
For me, it was watching Beauty and the Beast. And my mom's in the comments right now being supportive. But that was our first movie together. And I was very, very young, but it left an impression on me the rest of my life. I'm still obsessed with the movie, and seeing her as Belle was like the pinnacle of like a fantasy moment for me, because it had been with me all through my childhood, but I never even imagined a Black Belle. I was very satisfied with Belle as is, because I knew what she meant to me. But to see her Black and proud and sunglasses on and ripping a guitar was like the most unreal experience I've had to date. I really can't even believe, I'm still giddy about that experience. So I can talk about it more and more and more, but that feeling made me feel seen and made me feel appreciated, and made me feel like I had value that extended past what I could even imagine. So I'm all teary about it because it was that special. Yeah. I always cry at every live. That's the thing. Is Jasmine gonna cry? Like, that's what everybody asks.
That's usually what I say.
Yes.
It's okay. This is a safe place for you to cry if you need to. There will be no judgment. And what about, for your best life? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lord Strife.
Oh no, I was just gonna say for me it was Never Ending Story. I'm a 80s kid, so yeah, I that was the movie that just kind of stuck in my head with fantasy and stuff. So seeing that was great. Of course there's not necessarily any identifying with Black folks in it, but it was still a great movie that got me in fantasy. I was like, oh,
And Rory, I would love for that to be the reason why Black Veil happened.
I saw that question. You know what? We're gonna take it. It was Black Payday. Okay. So let's get Phoenix Lux, very best life. Let us into your psyche. What was it? What did it for you?
For me, I think I told this story before, but when I was younger, I just really wasn't, I guess, aware of racial separation. So the first time I saw Pocahontas, I was like, ooh, she's Black, that's me. But then they were like, no, she's Native American. And then after that came Keita Nadak. So that was actually my first moniker, Keita Agakash from Atlantis, when I started Black Payday. Like, I was like, oh, this is Keita. But Disney wasn't gonna let me keep that. So I had to change it. But seeing Atlantis and seeing Atlanteans be brown and Black, and just see them in this magical space, and just like the bioluminescence and the colors of it. And I think, I might be wrong, but it was Disney's like first movie without like songs and stuff, but it still had all that magic that was into it because of the lore. I think was something that just really stuck with me, obviously, because I've cosplayed her a couple of times into adulthood, but that's the first time I really like connected fantasy with myself as a Black person.
Yeah, this is like such a fascinating question because it's like I can think so far back and like magic was like always there. Like I always gravitated towards like the sparkliest pictures that had wings on them, and like I love chasing butterflies, and fireflies were just the most like incredibly magical thing ever. And if I like boiled it down to like I guess a piece of media, I guess it was The Wizard of Oz for me, where like I knew like the whole movie by heart at 2. Like I was like sing all the instrumentals and like all the lines, and like I wore ruby slippers at all times. And it sort of just carried into like the books that I was reading, the movies I was reading, the, musicals that I was watching. And as a result, like everything was magical. Like every stick could be a wand. Every book could be like, ornate to become your spell book, like every journal, every piece of clothing could like be a cape. I wore dresses around my neck just to make them a cape. Or, I was a very creative child, but yeah, magic was always a part of it. And if I had to boil it down to one that was like the first, it was probably Wizard of Oz.
Can I just say that every stick can be a wand is a bar? Like, make sure you use
marketing
that.
right there.
I'll write that down.
You quote Harry Best Life.
I smell some merch on the horizon.
I love it. Thank you. I'll go write that down real quick.
Yeah, you all saw it here first, and it's recorded, so don't try to steal that. Well, we're already like in our last 20 minutes. I feel like this conversation can go on and on, but it doesn't have to end because you can follow everybody, like that segue. You can follow everybody on Instagram, everywhere. And before we get into questions, I do have another question for everybody, and then we'll go to the audience questions and comments if y'all don't mind. So Black Friday is no longer just a hashtag. It's not just one day. Black Friday is basically every day, and we're moving toward a lot of exciting events. Can you all share, what's next for Black Friday? And then after that, let us know what's next for you all, how we can support you all, and where we can find you all, if you don't mind. Well, then we'll go to the audience Q&A.
Oh, okay. So to start, events. Okay, so Black Friday, now it started last year, but we host the annual fairy tale gala. It's a fantasy ball where you dress up and there's entertainment, and it's all sourced from the Black Fae community. So all of our entertainers, like last year we were in a Black venue, we had Black knights, we had Black mermaids, we had Black fairies, we had Black small businesses vending, we had everything you could imagine, and it was beautiful and it was perfect. And the day before that we had a free all age park meetup. So it really was a very magical family reunion. It was beautiful. There were kids climbing trees and sword fighting, and there's people sharing food. It was just the most beautiful communal experience I've ever experienced.
And there were grown-ups climbing trees and glorifying me.
It was so fun. And so we'll be doing that again. Last year was in Atlanta, Georgia. This year we're taking it to Texas. So we'll have our park meetup on April 29th in Arlington, Texas, which is free. And there'll be food trucks, there'll be food, there'll be entertainment, there'll be vendors that you can patron that are Black fantasy centered. So you can get Black fantasy items that you've probably always wanted to see. You can support their businesses. The very next day is the Fairy Tale Gala. That's a ticketed event, adults only, because there are some dark fae that want to show you their talents. And, it's a little spicy, sexy and grown, it's going to be a good time. But you can get tickets on our website, and you'll see links on all of our socials if you want to come join us. And that's on April 30th. In Rockwell, Texas, in a big castle. Yes, the castle on 10 acres of land. So you can skip your way into the castle, enjoy all the festivities. So I can't wait to have it. Can't wait to see you there. That was a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot of good stuff, though. I heard castle. I'm like, oh, I'm there.
We're making moves. Oh, he's doing a lot of stuff.
Moves. Okay, look what we can do.
Oh, and we're having a book fair in the fall. You'll see more details about that. Like we said, we're very devoted not to just one medium of creativity. Also, shameless plug, we have a art auction you can submit to for our gala. We also want to support artists. So we will be doing an auction, a silent auction at the gala. So we really are trying to, support fantasy, period. Black fantasy.
Yes.
Oh, let me unmute myself there. And then Fairy Best Life, Phoenix Lux, how can we, you're cosplaying and singing. How can our guests here, how can they, jump in and help uplift your messages and your journey?
Yeah, I'm in Austin, Texas right now. I have this really awesome residency that's a Fae portal in and of itself. It's called Sirens of Symbiocene. And it's for all the Fae creatures to come out, and it's a ritual dance party in essence that I perform at, which is a lot of fun. But I also finally released music. So the Enchanted R&B is out there. There's only one song as of now. But it's really special to me, and it's kind of the start of this whole journey for me. And the music video is on its way, but the lyric video is out, so you can, cast that spell with the full lyrics right there for you. And I will 100% be there the whole weekend for Black Fae Days Gala Fairy Tale Extravaganza. So come out, let's all say hi and be friends. Very, very excited.
For me, I am currently doing research. If you guys want to donate, that would be most helpful. Me and LaCase are actually doing a documentary about Black joy. So we're definitely working on that. And of course, I will be royally ratchet at the castle. I will be there if you want to kick it with Phoenix Lux out. I'll be there turning up. But yeah, I am really committed to doing research and showing in other spaces besides media that our joy is important and it should be supported. And that is what I'm working on right now.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you all so much. It looks like royally ratchet. We have another sticker that needs to be trademarked. Every twig is a wand. Royally ratchet.
Mind you, this is the leader of the fairy house, Buckingham Palace. Just so y'all know, yes, there are fairy houses out there.
Yes.
Buckingham Palace is
Go ahead.
Phoenix Lux's domain. So that's who you're gonna be frolicking with, just so y'all know.
Yeah, and that also answers one of the person's questions they asked about reading list for Black Fae Day. We also have another house that's the Black Fae Hall of Tomes. What was it? Yes,
there is a Facebook group called the Black Fae Tomes of Black Fae Hall of Tomes and Tales, and that's specifically for Black authors and fans of Black literature. So we have lots of interactions with authors themselves, and we post different readings that we have, and a lot of people put like any trigger warnings or something, if it's necessary. So it's a very safe and intentional space. So just so if you're very into books and want to read with us, you go ahead and join that as well. That's the Black Fae Hall of Tomes and Tales.
Yeah, and Lucky Few Buckingham has a Facebook group if you want to come, you want to come Millie Rock in the castle or something. You just stop on by. And are y'all gonna talk about the guild?
Yes. Oh yeah, we have the guild, Fae of the Shade. Listen, oh my gosh, we're almost done getting our bylaws and council and all this together to officially make it a 501c3 organization. So the Fae of the Shade is our official guild, and it's definitely for the community. And that's how we're going to be hosting this book fair as well, through the efforts of, that's our first initiative ever for the Fae of the Shade. But we'll have more information on how you can join and become an official badge holding member. And it's going to be great. So if you like going to Ren fairs, if you like doing volunteer work in your community, if you like, just having community in general, this is for you. It definitely is.
And there'll be exclusive houses for Fae of the Shade. All of the other houses are kind of community-based, but these will be exclusive. You might want to be at the gala, so get in where you fit in. You can still get your tickets. So I'm excited about that. I just can't wait.
Yeah, it has its own lore and everything. It's very, very, we've spent like a year or more putting this together, and it's almost ready for the hard launch. So, oh my goodness, I'm so excited about I'm very excited. Yes.
Yeah, we got 2 quizzes if you want to see where you fit in as far as your region, and if you're a fairy or an orc or anything in the Shade, and it's the Shade's exclusive lore. So you guys could definitely chime in, catch up with us, join our Facebook groups, because that's where a lot of things are posted as well.
Visit the Queendom. Oh, yeah, we'll have to go visit. That sounds fun.
Actually, let's go ahead and jump into some questions. That way we can run through these and get folks answers. The first question I have here in the Q&A section, then I'll jump over to the chat. Where are the wings from? I know, Fairy Best Life, you said yours are from Creatures Who Craft.
Yes.
Creatures Who Craft. All right. And Jasmine, where are your wings from?
Okay, so I believe that these wings are Wearable Whimsy. Carlos is going to go grab my card. Yes, Wearable Whimsy, and you can catch them on Etsy, Facebook, Instagram. They make very durable. You saw me knocking stuff over already.
Yes, check his eye out. They're beautiful.
So I needed some heavy duty wings, but I also get wings from Creatures Who Craft as well. She is an Afro-Latina designer, and she's amazing. I love her wings as well. Yes.
Yeah, they're very, very pretty. Thank you so much. All right. And our next question comes from Herbert Ayers. And the question is for Jasmine. It reads, I am sure Black Fae has grown so fast in a way you did not anticipate or imagine, but we all know it can become and grow bigger. Oh, that's so kind. Thank you. What are some of the things you have planned for that expansion, such as highlighting, promoting Black fantasy novels, cosplayers, characters, art, and performers, or something else? And we kind of touched on it, but let's go ahead and maybe we can expand a little bit for her. But thank you for that question.
Thank you for that question. And it's something that I absolutely thought about as I noticed that everything grew so big and so fast. I'm not a person that even had a real social media before this. So to be this visible and to have this many people within a community is so special to me. And I feel it's my responsibility to make sure, everyone's taken care of. So that's why I moved in. I said nonprofit work is probably the best way I can serve this community, is to establish ourselves, as a nonprofit organization, and to be able to collaborate with other organizations with more resources and abilities to kind of funnel information and help to these independent authors and creators, and just see what it is that we need specifically. So that's really what the guild is for. We're going to have fun. We're going to do a lot of cool, exciting things. We're going to have our own lore and all that, and actually physically show people what Black fantasy looks like. But on top of all the fun and games, we're going to be doing things that are substantial and that really help us grow, learn, explore, heal. That's the whole point to me, is to just be able to facilitate a safe space, but to also be giving back and serving the community that I love so much. So thank you for answering that question.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. And we have another question here. We're releasing this is from Carter 7J at Yahoo. We're releasing a 13 episode Black Fantasy series in a few months. Where can we find information about promoting, marketing, or being a vendor at Black Fae events?
Ooh, well, you can always head out to our website, www.blackfayday.com. There you'll see any applications we have for vendors and things like that. But also you'll be able to contact us with any questions that you need. We also have a inbox for that, mail inbox email address. It's Faemail, FAEMAIL at blackfayday.com. You can always send just general questions or highlight any projects that you're doing there, and we'll see how we can help, how best we can serve, your project if we can.
Oh, muted myself. Sorry. Thank you so much for that. Let's go to some of our comments. We've got a little bit of time here left. We got some good ones. My goodness. Waited all day. Oh my gosh, so much love. Let's see. Everybody's saying hello. Trying to see if maybe there were some questions dropped in here. I think I saw a couple. Take a look here. Oh, in Fairy Best Life, you mentioned where we can find your music. Should they follow?
Yeah, I didn't
you
put
have
my
your link
socials,
tree.
I realized, but yeah, I'm at Fairy Best Life on everything: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter for like random musings that come out of my journal, and on Spotify with my single. So there'll be more to come, but hope you can check it out. It's really special.
It's a banger. I like it. It's good. I've never sounded more like an old person than in the way I said that, but it is a really good song. I really enjoy it. Let's see who else we've got here. So Naja was saying, so happy to finally find my people. We're happy you're here and that you feel you found the community that you needed. That's what's so important about this event. Black Fae Reading. Yep. If you go to blackfayday.com, you can find the book club and books and suggestions there. Let's see if there are any other questions here.
Yeah, the Facebook group, just so you guys know, the closed group that's the safe space for Black individuals is called Black Fae Community. So that one's really great, a wonderful resource. And then the public Facebook group is called Black Fae Every Day. So just repeating that, if you want more interactions with members in the community, that space is like great. So we share lots of information like wings and ears and things like that. So I
even clock the ears. Yes. Good. I love it. That's perfect. Thank you so much. We got a question here. How can the community support you financially? Are we taking maybe donations? Is it, what can people do to help?
Definitely get Fairy Tale Gala tickets. That helps tremendously. We cannot continue to make big events like that without your support. And that people told us, and I'm gonna tell this story really quick. When I was first doing Black Fae Day and I was trying to get like a business loan and be a businesswoman, and they're like, "There's not a market for that." And I was, "What do you mean? we went viral. And they're like, okay, but how many sales did you convert? And da 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 da. You know, so they want the bottom line. So I want to prove that this market exists and that people want to come to these kind of events. So that's the best way that you can help us financially. And then, of course, there's donations. We have a PayPal and Venmo. We also have, I think, a Cash
A
App.
fundraiser.
Fundraisers, yes. And you can see those all in our link tree through our Instagram account. It's in our bio. So definitely check that out. But we appreciate every penny that you guys spend. And actually, the last 2 years, donations were what got us our deposits for our venues for these events. Purely the efforts of our community. So I really appreciate every cent that you guys use to help us.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for your support. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Phoenix Flux.
I just wanted to say Carlos and Jasmine are very humble, but they put in a lot in Black Payday. Everything they get, they put back in. So the help really counts. They are such good people. And I just have never seen people who are so dedicated to helping others. So buy those gala tickets, y'all.
Yes, they're doing a huge service.
Even if you can't go to the gala, you can sponsor and make it possible for somebody else to be able to go to an event. So if you wanted to purchase a ticket and gift it to someone, that's an option as well. And that not only helps us to, as has been stated, to continue to put on events and things like that, but also helps another random individual directly, so just knowing that your contribution is going towards two positive things. You're making great things happen for our organization and also making great things happen for an individual out there.
Yes. And I promise you, we pay it forward, because one ticket makes sure that we can pay all of our entertainers what they deserve, not just pay them like, here you go, here's a little $20, thank you for, but like we can really give them what they deserve, and we can make sure, that we can facilitate other Black business owners that have this niche community that they really want to give their products to. So I promise you, it's going to circulate many, many times in this community, because that's where our heart is making sure that we can support, and we can actually support financially, and create that foundation. And Jayla, I see you. These ears are from Aradani Studios. I believe you can catch them on Etsy and Instagram as well.
What was the name again? I'll type
it
in here.
They have a direct website too.
Oh, yes. Aradani Studios.
How do you spell that?
Aradani.
Yeah, I don't see her. She's doing a little magic spell with her finger to make sure she spelled it right.
I hope I spelled it right myself. Well, folks, I think we have like literally 1 minute left. This has been such a wonderful conversation. If I have 2 questions I couldn't get to, I'm so sorry. If you wouldn't mind, you can always reach out to Black Fayday. We'll get those questions answered. Thank you all so much for being here for this conversation. It's such an honor to be able to talk with everybody and hear your story and hear about what's in store for Black Fayday. So you can follow everybody on social media. We've got Phoenix Lux, Very Best Life, and of course, Black Fayday. I'll let you all say goodbye real quick, but thank you all so much for allowing me to host and be a part of it.
Yes, thank you for coming to Virtuous Con. Supporting events like this also helps us tremendously. So we're so grateful to be on this platform. And I really appreciate your engagement and support as we came to our first virtual panel. Not first virtual panel, but our first virtual appearance at Virtuous Con. So I'm really excited about this.
Yes. And as stated, don't forget to visit the vendors and the wonderful vendors there on the floor show.
Yes. Yes. And remember, if you can't share, buy. That's the best way to support us.
Yeah.
Also, there's payment installments for the ticket. So you don't have to pay all at once. Well, you could take a little bit as you go. We want to make sure it's accessible for everybody. So
yeah. Oh, and Shayla's LaCase is so humble. She also has a fantasy magazine, The Sealy Crow.
Yes.
It's an independent magazine, so
Yes.
definitely support that as well. And again, support the gala. That would mean the world to us.
Yes.
Well, thank you
Thank
so
y'all
much. I
so
appreciate
much.
that. Yeah, thank you everybody for being here. Again, please don't forget to follow Fairy Best Life, Phoenix Lux, and of course, Black Fayday on all social media. Check out the website, follow on Facebook, join those groups, find your people. That's what this is all about. Be joyful, shamelessly. It's revolutionary. We really appreciate you all being here so much. So thank you. It's been a pleasure. Be safe, eat good food, drink water.